Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about abandonment and rejection. So I'll get to that in a minute. I think we've all experienced some of that in our lives. So let's take a couple of breaths, breathe in something peaceful. Exhale the stress. Breathe in the love. Exhale the hate, the anger. That last one's for you. So abandonment and rejection. I'd have to say these are some of the two tougher emotions to deal with. And so, I guess the first question is, comment below if you think it does, but does abandonment and rejection trigger your TMS symptoms? Or was it possibly part of what kind of was what brought it on in the first place? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So abandonment, in my opinion, definitely is something that kind of sticks around. And if you've been abandoned, anytime it happens in the future, it's much more likely to get your attention, right? So what do I mean by abandonment? Well, abandonment could be as simple as, being a little kid and your parents weren't paying attention to you. Abandonment could be, you're playing with your friends in the neighborhood and they're picking teams for kickball and you get picked last. It could be gym class, same thing, picked last for the teams. Could be boyfriends or girlfriends abandoning or rejecting you, asking a boy or a girl out and them saying no. In the dating world, it's the same type of thing, recognizing that you start talking to people, you go on a first date and they don't particularly like you. A husband and wife, one of them says no thanks to the idea of having sex that night. Abandonment, rejection. Heavy stuff, right? Could be anything. Applying for a job and not getting any callbacks, right? Applying to 10 jobs, 15 jobs, not getting any callbacks. What's wrong with me? And I think in our lifetimes, a lot of this abandonment and rejection has a tendency to really impact our self-esteem. It's really heavy stuff. And after we've had enough of it, we kind of take on this own belief system and self-image about ourselves that I'm not lovable, I'm not wanted, people don't want me around, I'm not good enough. And all of these things are very ripe for triggering this thing called TMS, mind, body, pain, perceived danger, pain, or other symptoms. Yes, danger is about life in general, but this thing called abandonment or rejection, having a partner decide, I think we're done. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go date somebody else. Heavy duty abandonment, which is why so many times these interpersonal relationships can be so painful. So, does this ring a bell for you? Have you noticed that these types of situations can definitely fire up, the TMS brain, fire up this brain that's perceiving danger, and that's a danger, right? At least emotionally, it's a big danger. So what do we actually do about that? One is awareness. Two is making a decision that you are good enough. And I know it's easy to say that. It's harder to do that. Because if you've got a deep-seated belief that you're not good enough, whether it be interpersonally or in life in general, or I'm too anxious, or I'm too scared, or I'm too sensitive, or, other people don't like me so much, everybody's judging me, I'm not good enough at this, that, or that. If that stuff is deep-seated, it does take some time to get out of it. Simple technique, simple. Simple, stupid. And you know me, I like simple things. Take a little sticky note and write I am enough on it. And put them in various places where you can see them. On the dashboard of your car, on the bathroom mirror, anywhere that you see things often. I am enough. I am good enough. Right? What that's going to slowly start to do is chip away at your self-esteem challenges, which, oh, by the way, you got from other people. I like to joke that, I've never met a 2-year-old with a self-esteem problem. They love themselves. They're God's gift to the world. It's only after this experiencing rejection and abandonment throughout our lives that we kind of take on this self-image of saying, I'm not good enough. But the good news is we can change that. If we make it a priority, and that simple technique of I am enough can start to turn the tide for you. Learn to like your own company, because if right now you're not with somebody else in a relationship, that's okay. Learn to like your own company. It's really important. I live by myself, and yeah, I've got a cat, Finn, but I like my own company. I like being alone. I'm sorry, that sounds weird. I also like going out and being with people. I like dating, but I also like my Dan time, where I get to think, relax, be Dan, do Dan stuff, like play some music or hop on the bike over there and do some exercise. I'm not an overly social person. I get along great with other people and I love it, but, again, I like being by myself as well. So, that being said, abandonment and rejection. Do these things ring a bell with you? And if so, what can you do to kind of recognize, okay, wow, that is a big trigger for me. And what can I do proactively to start to make myself, I guess, less impacted by future rejection or perceived rejection, right? Because sometimes we might feel rejected when in fact somebody else is just having a bad day. It has nothing to do with you. But if you've had those rejections and abandonment in the past, it's very easy to be hypersensitive to it in the now. So is it truly about you, or is it truly about somebody else? I've got a best friend in the world. My friend Drew, I've literally known him since I was 1.5 years old, when I moved into and he moved into the houses across the street. We're still best friends. I'm 56, he's 56. But sometimes he sucks at returning phone calls. I might call him and say, hey, Drew, what's going on? Give me a shout. And it could be weeks and I won't hear from him. I could take that personally, but I don't. I just know Drew's busy. He's got a busy life, busy, crazy job, a wife, 2 kids. Don't take it personally. So that's about him. It's not about me. It doesn't mean he doesn't care for me as his best friend. It means he's busy. He forgot about it. He meant to call you. He thinks about it at 11 at night. Too late to call. I'll call him tomorrow. Doesn't happen. Right? So abandonment, rejection. There are cases where it's legitimate. And it hurts. Big time. But here's the deal. As it relates to mind-body symptoms, TMS, perceived danger, pain, or other symptoms, we can still get very clear with ourselves that yes, my heart is hurting from the abandonment or the rejection, but I don't need to hurt physically. And that's the key here. Everything that I do is about teaching the brain that you're safe and there's no reason for you to have physical symptoms as a result of normal life stress and emotions. Yes, we are still going to have heavy-duty emotions in life. It's a given. That's part of the human experience. But we can teach our brain not to be overprotective, overreactive, and turn on symptoms or pain every single time we have a heavy-duty emotion. And so I was just talking about abandonment and rejection because it's a significant example. And if you've been trying to figure out what the big emotional thing is or was, ask yourself, Did I feel abandoned? Did I feel rejected? And if so, allow yourself to feel that sadness, sorrow, abandonment. Ugh, these are not fun emotions. It's very ripe for pushing them away. So, those are my thoughts on abandonment, on rejection. Heavy duty stuff, but you don't have to hurt physically as a result of them. Not from past emotions and experiences, and certainly not moving forward, because what we know now is if you're feeling heavy emotions, whether it be abandonment, rejection, something else, anger, sadness, rage, guilt, shame, fear, whatever, we know that the way out, the benefit of feeling the emotions is huge. Because when we feel the emotions, the energy comes and it flows through us and it leaves. However, if we try to avoid any of these emotions, particularly the big, heavy-duty ones, those emotions don't go away. They just accumulate. They get stronger when we resist them. So whatever you're feeling, feel it. Learn to like your own company. It's actually a great place when you can be by yourself and be perfectly okay with that. So, love you guys and gals. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.